Hello, everybody. My name is Toby, and today I just want to talk about something, let's say, worth to share to you guys because it did happen to me once, and it actually, let's say, kind of bothers me. So I'm just gonna make this video as short as possible. Just recently, one of my classmates, she lived abroad already. I'm not gonna say what country she lived, but she already lived in that country for a long time. Now she's going to marry a foreigner. Now she's moving to the foreigner's country, and I talked to her and congratulate her, and I said, at least she have fun in living in her former uh, country, and she did honestly told me her experience in that country. Let's just say I'm not gonna say anything negative. Let's just say she moved to that country and it wasn't as she expected. And I remember about in 2017, I talked to another uh, former classmate, and she I remember she just went back here in the Philippines. We did met, and she also shared me her experience in that uh, into another country, and uh, she is actually willing to live back here in the Philippines than going to stay there abroad. And yeah, as I've said, it wasn't as expected they thought living there. So the reason why I want to talk about this is that I think because they did share that it wasn't as they expected the country is probably they just based living they want to move there to another country, they want to live in another country was because of probably the in documentaries on TV or uh, anything that is shared online, especially on Facebook. Let's say because uh, before I uh, continue, I am a tourism management graduate. I primarily focus on history and geography, and Japan is one of those countries that I am interested to learn and know about their culture. And I've told this man multiple times in this channel, and aside from Japan, because I've been saying Japan, I want to, let's say, move to Japan. Uh, and to be specific, I want to move in Okinawa, Japan, because dad did my dad worked there before. He lived there for I think 4 months, and his stories made me have interest to live in Okinawa. Aside from Japan, another country that I want to live or move or whatever is Germany. And to be specific, I want to move to Bavaria, Germany, or Württemberg, Germany, because of their, let's say, history and culture there. And aside from, uh, let's say, another country is Barcelona, Spain. I want to move there as well. And I honestly learned Spanish, but only limited. I honestly know the alphabets, and I in order in creating Spanish, let's say sentences, I am still limited to do that. But most of the time, I make a joke and speaking in Spanish to some Spanish speaking uh, friends. Donde este el baño or where is the bathroom? So yeah, um, the let's say my tip for anyone who has plans to move to another country and stay there, let's say forever, or how about long time, okay, and plan to live there for a long time. All I can say is that try at least first do research, not just on like online marketing you guys see on, let's say, Facebook and uh 9gag. I think 9gag also posts some pictures, but let's say the tourist spots of a certain country they only shared. And and there are also news that I kind of feel suspicious to say, as um I think that was just a special event. Let's say I'm not gonna go in what specific news that was shared, but I think there was a specific event that occurred in that country, or country's restaurant to be specific, and it was just an event. Meanwhile, it was shared in the internet that this is what is actually the restaurants in this country. So no, it was false, completely false, and it was I saw it was, I think, a blog was, let's say it's a blog website. So it was already suspicious to me. So I would rather search uh, about the country, let's say Japan, because Japan is the closest country here in the Philippines, that I want to move. And and aside from learning the culture, the language, the geography, and so on, my advice is also prepare yourself living in another country mentally, because this did happen to me once, but not in a different country, but in a different province here in the Philippines. So uh, I am actually in the East Philippines. Then I had a work in the north of the Philippines, and the northern Philippines has a different culture, which I was already prepared, because, as I've said, I'm a tourism management graduate, and the only thing that made me go home, that actually made me depressed, was mentally I wasn't prepared to live far from my family. I thought I was honestly prepared to live alone, or stay there. So for about 23 days, or let's say 1 month, I worked in that company for 23 days, but I don't know how long have I been staying there. So let's say I've been living there for a month, and it was honestly quite lonely. Even I have friends there, but they have a different language. Yeah, in the Philippines there are other languages, or local languages. So that was actually one of the hardest that but it wasn't really the hardest. Let's say I was having a hard time. Uh, let's say uh, hard time. I know that word. Sorry. Uh, let's just say just couldn't keep up there. It was hard for me to keep up with their language, but I was also learning. But the real thing that really made me messed up, not messed up, sorry, I was really depressed there, homesick. Was really my mental health. I'm completely homesick there. So so that's the reason why I want to share to you guys, even though it's just here in the Philippines. It may also happen abroad, honestly. And 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 the number one reason why I haven't actually moved yet there was okay. Let's say number one is money. I don't have money to to move to another country. But another reason why I haven't moved yet to Japan was I still haven't yet, let's say, aside from the language, I honestly still have a hard time learning the language. Even though I've been reading my dad's Japanese dictionary, but it was his dictionary in the 80s, so it is really old now. And and I still haven't much learned yet the aside from culture, let's say events there in Japan, we also need to learn about what celebrations they're doing there, uh, and so on. So yeah, um, in terms of geography, I'm still, let's say, familiar in the uh, Tokyo, let's say territory, and especially in Okinawa, but I haven't yet familiar with the other territories, like in Hakata, Osaka, Kyoto, uh, and so on. So yeah, uh, long story short, I'm just not yet ready to move to Japan, but I'm honestly prepared. Let's say to learn there or study there. But yeah, uh, that's all I just want to share to you guys. Want to talk to you guys. Uh, it's just let's say, do not just depend on what you saw on the internet, that this country is beautiful because of this and this other country is uh, great to live because of this. uh, do research first before going uh, to or living in another country, and prepare yourself mentally, because homesick is honestly a big deal, uh, or a big thing while moving or living abroad or in another place here in the Philippines. So yeah, that's all I just want to share to you guys. I hope it did help you, but only it's like two tips, because as I've said, I just want to share you guys, or make this video as short as possible, and those two are for me the only primary rather reasons if you guys want to live abroad. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.